So this thing's finally done. Was it worth the money spent on all the mods? Most of them, I'd say yeah, it was. So I think there's 2 must-do mods when you get one of these things. Before you do anything else, I would say get yourself a shift shaft brace here and a skid plate. I've heard too many stories about too many people getting a new 110 and riding it around a couple times at home. They dump it once the wrong way and it hits the shifter and bends the shift shaft. Now you gotta pull the whole case apart. Just get a shift shaft brace for 15, 20, 30 bucks, whatever they cost. Just do it. The skid plate, I think, is another necessity on one of these things. If all you got is sand and there's no rocks around, then maybe not. But where I live, it's rock everywhere. And they're big rocks. Sticking out of the ground, they're buried 3 feet, you're not moving them. So the skid plate is probably the best investment I made on this thing, other than the shift shaft brace. Suspension made a big difference. I got the D&M rear shock with the 250-pound spring. It's the red spring. I see most people using the white one, which is a 350-pound spring, which I think would just be way too stiff for me. I've got the preload backed off a good bit from where it came, and it seems to be just about right for me. I've also got the 1-inch shock spacer in the back, which brings it up a little bit. I got the BBR heavy duty fork springs with the extended dampening rods that brought it up about 1.5 inches or so. I got the forks down about, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch in the triple clamp, so they're not all the way up, because I just tried to get the bike sitting where I wanted it. When you do the shock spacer and the dampening rods, check your sprocket guard, because my chain was rubbing on the bottom one. So I went and bought the MBMX sprocket guard that has this roller in it. That roller just lets the chain sit on it when the suspension's unloaded, and just helps it keep from chewing up the sprocket guard and eroding the coating away on the chain. I got an extended kickstand, the Lux billet one, which I think is worth the money if you want to be able to lean the bike over and not have to find a wall every time and not come back to the thing laying on its side. Then you kind of need one of those once you've got the suspension done. Foot pegs, wider pegs, make a huge difference. The stock foot pegs feel like you're just standing on 2 little pipes. They might as well just not even have pegs on it. So definitely get yourself a set of foot pegs. The extended shifter is great if you got bigger feet and don't want your feet to be stuck on the shifter all the time. We got the CRF110 extended rear brake, which again, that's really good if you don't want your feet resting on the thing the whole time, hitting the rear brake without knowing it. Now, the pipe in the tune. The Pro Circuit pipe looks really cool. It's real pretty looking. Sounds pretty good. I got the quiet core in it still. I'm not taking it out because it's a pit bike. It's not making 50 horsepower. It doesn't need a full open exhaust like that. It makes more power, especially with that CJR tune. It makes a good bit more power and it pulls harder. It just pulls longer. It just doesn't stop pulling. It barely will hit the rev limiter in 3rd or 4th on a back road. But the power difference is pretty much all up top, in the mid-range and up top, and it's not like it's a crazy difference. So if you're just riding tracks and ripping around, you're not going to be screaming the thing all the time wide open at the top end of the gears. I would say just keep the stock pipe. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like there's not that much of a difference to make it worth spending what it costs on a pipe and a tune. So just keep the stock one. If you're gonna be screaming it down back roads all the time and you got the money to spend and you want to, then by all means get a pipe. But yeah, I would say the pipe and the tune, waste of money. There's not much else. I got a magnetic drain plug in it. I just went with whatever one I could get in stock, which happened to be a blue one. I think it's a good idea. It's pretty cheap, catches any metal shavings that are in the oil. So I would say get one of those if you want. If not, it doesn't really matter. That's about it. I don't got much more done to this thing. I got a gold chain, which kind of is just about bling and personal preference. I got a quick adjust, Faster Minis quick adjust for the rear brake. It's pretty cheap and it's really useful. Makes it a lot easier to just use your hand, tighten up your brake, than having to grab the wrench and put that little nut, put it on that nut and crank it. So there you go. That's my thoughts on all the mods so far after doing the build on this thing. We'll get lots more riding videos in on it, and I'm sure I might change my mind on a few things, and I'll let you guys know when I do. So stay tuned. Lots more videos already in the works. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.